I felt inferior because I felt like for some reason I wasn't as smart as the other kids, and I always had a few struggles with just talking and being out there. I was always like a shy kid, and so I didn't feel like anybody else, and I just felt kind of beneath people.
When you feel sad, what do you do? What can you do? When you don't feel good about yourself, how do you work through that, as opposed to turning to drugs and alcohol to numb those realities for yourself?
Honestly, I always feel hopeless. I always feel like, what's the point of going on and getting older and getting a job and having a career and then getting old? Like, why not just stop?
It's been heartbreaking to watch her being hurt. I didn't realize there was already some anxiety and fears and feeling left out when she was younger.
I felt like I isolated a lot. I feel, especially at my house, I kind of just stayed in my room all the time. I didn't really want to do my homework in the living room. I just isolated in my room. And at school, I tried to be more outgoing and stuff, but I usually kept to myself as much as I could.
It's just constant worry, constantly worrying about her. When she's got the lows, how long is it going to last? When she's feeling good, how long is that going to last before the lows start again?
It feels like you're unable to balance everything. And yeah, it's really hard sometimes. And sometimes you don't know if it's always worth it.
Looks get better, and I'm really impressed with the staff here.
For something to be true, it is changeable over time. The truth with the TRUTH is a steady, consistent, constant, non-negotiable truth. That is grounded and it is unchangeable, it's unalterable. So the truth is that this family loves each other. This family wants to connect. This family has been a family long before they come into a treatment service environment. They will be a family long after. The truth is that you will always be his mother. You will always be his father. She will always be your daughter. That is a non-negotiable.
I feel like I have to be in charge of all this, right?
These people are suffering. Every human being's greatest fear is being inadequate, and that manifests itself in a million different ways. I don't think we were intended to live in suffering our entire lives, and this consumes them. And so much of it is this feeling that I'm somehow broken or inadequate or unworthy of a better life, and this misconception that having these conditions to deal with somehow makes you less valuable on this planet, and nothing could be further from the truth. The common thread is that it's very difficult to encounter someone who's struggling with addictions that doesn't have a mental health component. It's more likely that someone would have mental health and not have addictions, but they typically go hand in hand. And I think the real key is being able to treat both the mental health and the addiction simultaneously, because when you try to pick someone apart, they feel fragmented. One of the strongest positions a person can ever take is to be able to embrace and accept themselves in the midst of their own iniquities, in the midst of their own fallacies, and to be able to just see themselves and say, I have good days and bad days, and sometimes I'm cranky, and sometimes I'm joyful, and sometimes I make mistakes, and sometimes I'm spot on.
I'd want to let you know how much courage it takes to get in this door. Not only for your child, your son, your daughter who's going through this, but for you. There's thousands of people out there right now that are in active use, and there's thousands of family members out there that are continuing to make choices that support the addiction.
Your perfection is already established because you are standing and living and breathing, and you bring something to this world.
You have to force yourself to be put out there, and you have to remind yourself every day. Sometimes my mom would have me write down all of the good things that I thought about myself, and she'd sit me down and have me write great things about myself instead of always tearing myself down, and that really helped me.
Everyone has a story. To not give up, take time out of your life as opposed to turning to, drugs and alcohol or other maybe not so desirable behaviors, to look for help.
It's not something that you can do on your own as a parent. It really isn't. It's so much bigger. Just these kids being able to talk to somebody who is impartial to things, and if they can feel comfortable enough to open up with how they're feeling, I think that would help a lot.
You're not alone. There's people out there going through the same. And all I can say is just keep loving your kid, unconditional love.
Honestly, it's just way easier to take it one day at a time. Because if you can make it through today, you can make it through tomorrow. And you're going to keep making it through, I promise.